Hey, what's cracking? You're listening to Perfectly Healthy and Tone Radio. I'm your host, Darren Fatman McDuffie, and tonight I'm really excited because we have a special guest on the show tonight, motivational speaker Giovanni Derice. And Gio probably doesn't know this, but me and him had a little bit of contact way back in the day when I used to follow Ryan Lee, and I had a problem, and he sent me an email, and I remembered him. And reached out to him on Facebook, and we became friends on Facebook, and I noticed what he was doing and invited him to come on the show, especially this time of the year when everybody's making their New Year's resolutions and looking to go forward with the things that they're doing. But before I get Gio on, I wanted to announce that next week I'm going to have Victoria Taylor on the show. She has the website, themodernmonklife.com, and we'll be talking about everything from meat to food and everything else in between. So look for that next week. It'll be next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And if you have not liked my Facebook fan page, please do so. I'm trying to build this community and get out the most pertinent health information to you. So join the Facebook fan page where I can give you those updates. And also follow me on Twitter at thefat_man.com. And fat is spelled PH. So join me on those social media sites. And without further ado, let's get into the show tonight. So I'm going to bring Gio on, and we'll get into the show. So let me bring him on. Gio, what's up, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing
good. Happy New
Year
to
as well.
everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, man. Like I said, we had some contact through email a long time ago. You and I were talking off air just before I started the show where I believe you were working for Ryan at the time. And for those of you out there who don't know who Ryan Lee is, he's one of the internet marketer, very famous internet marketer, and one of the people I follow when I first started getting into the internet marketing thing. But Gio and I had some contact there, and then we also connected again on Facebook.
I had no idea we had that email. Actually, I hope I didn't make a fool of myself.
No, man. There was a problem, an issue that I was having with something with one of the packages. I believe he was selling those packages at one time where he would send out the newsletter, how to build your website and all that other stuff. Yeah, and I had a issue with getting into the website, and you helped me out with that. But
awesome.
Yeah. So, Gio, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you start this journey? I know from you hung out with Ryan Lee, and you were mainly Ryan was into fitness at one time. I know that, health and fitness, and you were as well. But can you tell the audience a little bit about your journey?
Wow. The journey was it really started with being a personal trainer. That's how I came into contact with Ryan. And I was a struggling personal trainer, to be honest. I couldn't sell myself out of a paper bag. I was not good. And what I tell a lot of people is, over time, I started to realize a big fundamental flaw. But Ryan and we came into contact because he was a great marketer, especially with fitness. He had several different programs, and so I had an opportunity to go ahead and learn from him how to market myself as a trainer, and I did a little bit better. Not that much, not a big difference, but I was a little bit better. I was able to sell a little bit more personal training. But one of the things that actually let me leave fitness, fat man, if I can call you that, but with a P. Yeah. But the thing that made me leave it was because I kind of felt like a hypocrite. When I was a personal trainer, I'd be the one person I would tell my clients, make sure you eat this. Make sure you eat that. If you want to get results quicker, you should eat this kind of food. Avoid these kind of food. And what would happen was, if the clients that I told that to would just simply follow me in my car after I left the gym, they would have found me at the drive-thru, at McDonald's, ordering a number 2, which is 2 cheeseburgers. I don't know what it is now because I haven't been there in a while. But that's what I would order after I just told them not to do that. And so eventually I got tired of feeling like a hypocrite. And they gave me this medium shirt that never fit. I was like the biggest fat guy in the gym. Couldn't sell personal training. So that's kind of how I got, a long story short about how I was in fitness and how I kind of got out of fitness. And obviously we'll talk about how I kind of got back into it and myself.
Yeah. And while we're talking about that, I want to kind of parlay that into another question with regards to you being on that journey. And were you overweight? I know that you told me you lost 50 pounds. Were you overweight at the time you were a trainer, or were you pretty trim fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
Okay.
There would be people in the gym who would even give me advice, on losing weight. And it's funny that would be the case because I was the personal trainer, and so they were giving me advice on what I need to do. So I was definitely overweight. I was eating a lot of foods. I was not really active, even though I was in a gym. I still wasn't active. So you would think that I had every motivation to lose weight because I was trying to sell people on that same thing. And so one of the easiest ways to sell something is to be that. And I was not that. And so it was obvious why I was struggling in selling it. But, I was overweight, and, after I started playing football in high school and I didn't have the opportunity to go and play in college, the motivation to train all of the sudden was not there anymore.
Yeah. So what got you to that point where you say, you know what, enough is enough, and I'm going to go ahead and drop these 50 pounds?
Wow, it took so long to get there. But I think one of the things there was an event Ryan did, and it was an event, a pre-day event. So there was a 2-day seminar, but there was an event the day before, and he had me come and speak. And I did that. And when I saw the video afterwards, they say the camera added 10 pounds, but I'm like, this camera added 20 to 25 on me. And I didn't like how I looked in that image. And I was frustrated by it. I didn't like it. And I knew I could be better because I knew I used to train when I was in high school. So what was the point? What happened? Where did I drop the ball? So I started slowly making improvements to go and get there, but then I still went back and forth between the two and losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, but never making a real commitment to it. And then one day I was like looking for motivation, and I'm a big football fan. And one of the greatest motivators in football is a football player by the name of Ray Lewis. And he plays for the Baltimore Ravens and played for them. He retired. Yeah. But when I saw he was a big motivator, and so what I did was I said, if he's a great motivator and he has a personal trainer, then the personal trainer must be even more motivating than him, because that's the person who's pushing Ray Lewis to go and work out, or that's the guy who's working out with Ray Lewis. So what I did was I actually went to Baltimore and I hired his trainer to train me for 1 hour. 1 hour we trained with each other, and we went and I ran up this hill that was like an X, and the trainer, his name is Monty Sanders in Owings Mills, Maryland, and he had me running up a hill. The hill used to be a ski lodge, and he would tell me, yo, Ray Lewis ran this hill, and I'm like, well, Ray Lewis did, I'm doing it. So I ran up the hill, but it beat my body up. I can't tell you, I was sore for 9 days straight. I wish I could show you guys the pictures of the things that I was walking around my house with ice packs everywhere because my body was hurting so much. But that experience, I was like, wow, this is the type of quality of work that these guys do. No wonder they get into the shape they're in. And so probably months later, Monty Sanders was trying to film a pilot for a reality TV show where he would try to be like, have a fitness show online helping people with their lives and transform them. And they asked me if I wanted to be one of the people in the show. And I said, well, wow, okay, I guess we could do that. And I made the commitment, and I went and I said, you know what? In order for me to get something I've never had, I'm going to have to do something I've never done. And so what I did is I packed my bags and I went to Baltimore, Maryland for 3 weeks. And I stayed out there in a extended stay. And I stayed there for 3 weeks, and I trained with Monty morning and night for 5 days a week. And that really is what started this whole journey that I'm in right now, where he just taught me that it was a lifestyle change. And he taught me how to make myself a priority. And so that was where everything turned around. And during that 3 weeks, I didn't lose a lot of weight. I lost about probably 7 pounds. But that's what gave me the encouragement to go ahead and lose what is now 55 pounds. Wow.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
You mentioned two things that I think are very, very good, and these two things that kind of stuck with me as far as when you make that change, sometimes you're going to swing back.
Yes.
You're going to have that little time where you're going to go back to your old habits. How did you overcome that? I know you mentioned earlier, you said that maybe you went back and then you kind of straightened things out. How did you overcome that?
That's so difficult. I think the thing that I realized was you start to label yourself. You give yourself labels. When I failed and I kept going back and forth on the wagon, that became my lifestyle. That was what I thought I was. I was like, oh, this is just not for me. I wasn't feeling enough pain yet. Sometimes you got to get to that place where you hit rock bottom. And I got frustrated of going back and forth, and so eventually what ended up happening was I had to go and make a decision. Again, it required me to leave my comfort zone. You see, change in the body is uncomfortable. We don't like change. We like to go and wake up in the morning and know exactly what we're going to do. We don't like change. Anytime something just happens out of the ordinary, it messes us up. And in order for me to go and change my body, I had to mess myself up, and make that commitment to go and out my comfort zone and go over there. The thing that I started to do to really be able to overcome that was I started chasing uncomfortable as opposed to being comfortable. Comfort was like, okay, well, I'm upset. I go to comfort. Comfort is food. That's what it was for me. So whenever something went wrong, I go get some food. I had money. I go and spend money, go and buy food recklessly. But when I went out there and learned the principles of what it takes to be great in anything, which was just making a lifestyle change and committing yourself and realizing that, I could make a mistake, but the next day gives me a new opportunity where whatever happened yesterday, yes, I had the Twinkie yesterday. Yes, I had the fried chicken yesterday. But if I will stop the next day and just say it's a brand new day and accept that, then I could just move forward and look ahead. A lot of times what I felt like I did was I would eat something bad and say, well, the week is over, or like say, well, let's start right on Monday. And what would happen is if I messed up on Monday, well, I'll say, well, then let me start the next Monday because we always want to start on a Monday. We don't want to start on